What's up, y'all? This is Reggie, aka Speeding Bullet, with my co-host B3 Explanation Points, bringing you the political perspective.
Savvy enough to hear certain things and not automatically be acting.
Elon Musk kind of like snapped on.
This is like 3 more seasons of Landman right here.
Yeah, definitely.
Destroyed. The natural resources are ransacked, and these countries are normally not better after the United States comes over there and just starts trashing their country.
And always remember, if you're not political, you do not have a perspective. Now let's talk some politics. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the political perspective. Just remember, if you are not political, you do not have a perspective. So I am one half of our I would call it dynamic duo, myself and B3 Explanation Points. B had to take the day off, so you guys are just stuck with me. So a couple of things I want to talk about is the Iran war. So we are unofficially in the 111th day of the Iran war. However, there has been a ceasefire memorandum that you guys may have seen or heard kind of floating around. But it was signed by the Vice President, J.D. Vance, and also our President, Donald Trump. So, President Trump has, touted this newly reached memorandum of understanding. And it is just that. It is an understanding between the United States and Iran to ceasefire. And this agreement, it aims to permanently halt this 4-month-old war. And a part of the things that are within this agreement is the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, which has been blocked pretty much the entire time of the war. And roughly 25% of the world's oil and other oil-based products have not been able to flow through this strait, which has caused gas prices to skyrocket to some historical highs. But there is, some really criticism and fallout from this strategy. I mean, a lot of the administration is, really framing this as a major win. But foreign policy critics, including myself and intelligence analysts, just argue that the agreement heavily favors Iran. And, most people know or have heard that there was a nuclear deal that Donald Trump ended up tearing up. And most people would agree that one of the only reasons why Donald Trump tore up this nuclear deal was because it was negotiated by former President Barack Obama. And Trump, kind of in Trump's own kind of crazy thinking, he really wants to kind of undo everything that Barack Obama does. So the original nuclear agreement with Iran, which was signed in 2016, really set the stage for what we have today. So Trump got rid of the Iran nuclear deal, and it was replaced with no other deal. And within this amount of time, Iran has really kind of closed itself off from the world and has been able to develop their enriched uranium to usage that would be beyond domestic use. So the Trump administration, they decided to start this war to, in many ways, stop Iran from ever developing a nuclear weapon. But what's interesting about this agreement is a lot of the same terminology is in the new agreement that was in the old agreement. So the old agreement says that Iran would never attempt to build or acquire a nuclear weapon. This is what they pledged. This is what they agreed to in 2016. Here it is, 2026, and they are pledging and agreeing to the same thing. So no real big difference there, which means that we haven't really gained anything except for a pledge. And just for some historical kind of data, Iran in the 60s pledged not to ever develop a nuclear weapon. They pledged this in 2026, and here they are pledging it again in they pledged it in 2016, and here they are pledging it again in 2026. At no point during this 50-year span has Iran even gotten close to having a nuclear weapon. They have been able to enrich their uranium to a level that goes beyond domestic usage. But in order for it to be able to go to the degree of being usable for a nuclear weapon, there are a number of steps that Iran has not even gotten past the very first step. There's one thing to even have enriched uranium. There's another step that it has to even be made into weapons grade. And then you have to have a way to be able to transport this particular weapon. For just some comparison, the first atomic bomb was developed in 2.5 years in the early 1940s. So it was dropped in 1942. So the development of it was, started somewhere around 1938. And it took 3 years for it to be developed, for the technology and the scientists to come together to create this bomb. Here it is almost 100 years later, and Iran doesn't have the ability or the technology to create something like that 100 years later. You can think of how limited Iran's technology would have to be if a nuclear weapon was made before it was color television. But that just kind of tells you kind of what this deal and the biggest kind of takeaways from this deal is supposed to be Iran's ability not to get a nuclear weapon. In my opinion, Iran is nowhere near, has never even been close to getting a nuclear weapon, but we started this war nonetheless. And as a result, what it looks like is there are going to be some concessions. There's going to be some reparations that may be paid upwards of $300 billion to rebuild certain parts of Iran and certain parts of their infrastructure. There's also going to be release of some of Iran's kind of frozen assets, I think totaling somewhere around $24 billion in frozen assets will be released immediately. And also, Iran will now be able to start selling their oil on the open market, and possibly continue to or start to get some type of tolls if any ships are using the Strait of Hormuz. So if you look at it just based on the points that the United States has put out, it looks like Iran would be in a better position politically, economically, as a result of this war. And we still haven't gotten anything more in terms of stopping them from enriching their uranium and, not trying to get a nuclear weapon, which it doesn't even appear that they've ever been trying to get a nuclear weapon. So if you're confused about this, I am too. It doesn't seem like it's a win for the administration or the American people. The good thing is that it does look like gas prices will slowly go down, and hopefully, within the next couple of months, gas can get back down to something that's reasonable. I know a lot of people are struggling with that. A couple other things. The Trump administration is cracking down on imports. So on the domestic trade front, the administration is continuing to push their American First agenda through Executive Order 14411. And it's entitled Strengthening Customs Enforcement. So this order targets duty evasion by tightening compliance rules for foreign importers and suspending the global exemption for commercial shipments. So this is a target of the Trump administration, where they are trying to make sure that a lot of the loopholes with our, trading imports has been strengthened. So, folks um, can't really use the system in order to not pay what they should be paying, especially for a lot of imports. So they're really cracking down on that. Last thing I want to talk about is just the UFC fight on the White House lawn. And most people have seen or even heard that the Trump administration for Donald Trump's birthday had this UFC Freedom 250 event, and it was on the South Lawn to celebrate Donald Trump's 80th birthday. And following a knockout victory, heavyweight fighter Josh Hokett used his post-fight interview to really hurl just a disgusting, vile insult towards the former First Lady Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
What's interesting about this is Trump was seen in the crowd, like briefly smiling after the remark. And the White House Communications Director, Stephen Chung, notably declined to condemn the slur, opting to praise Hokett's toughness in the ring. So there has been no formal kind of condemnation of that type of remark. And one of the things that I know is, unfortunately, Donald Trump and his brand of being Trump and MAGA, it really invites these types of racist, sexist, transphobic types of attitudes to the mainstream. And our presidents, our first ladies are supposed to be really we're supposed to hold them in high esteem, and for the most part we do. But when it comes to our very first Black president and Black first lady, those rules of etiquette when it comes to speaking about our presidents has went out the window. And the only thing I can think of is went out the window because Barack Obama is Black. Michelle Obama is Black. There's no other explanation. You can disagree with someone politically. You can disagree with how they govern, but when the Republican Party is constantly trying to erase Black history, you see the Republican Party's tried to erase historical markers all throughout the federal government. They have had slavery exhibits removed. They've had their website scrubbed of Black people. They've had different federal buildings scrubbed of Black people. And then the rhetoric. They've had Republican group chats calling Black people watermelon people. And just all of this just ridiculousness is now in the mainstream. But that particular insult to Michelle Obama is a age-old trope towards Black women. And Black women, historically, especially during slavery time, there was a push to eliminate their femininity, to justify working them like slaves, working them harder if it's being told that they are not really women, that they are men. So it's an old trope. It's terrible. It's insulting. It's horrible. But unfortunately, Trump and the Republican Party kind of brings this out, and then doubling down on not condemning it is really kind of where we're at now, just as a country. Before I go, I did want to talk about the Barack Obama Presidential Center. It held its dedication ceremony today on Chicago's South Side. So it was a star-studded invite-only event. And it took place on the campus's John Lewis Plaza. And it featured remarks from obviously former President Barack Obama, former First Lady Michelle Obama, alongside gatherings of former administration officials, global icons, community change makers. Everybody took part in celebrating Barack Obama's presidential center. There are pictures out of all of the former presidents who are living, besides President Trump. There are pictures of all of the presidents, really kind of acknowledging Barack Obama's place, but also as other people that have held this office, as they're being able to kind of share in this moment. And it really kind of gives you hope that that some of this that we can get back to just the normalcy of politics and come together. It gives us hopefully it gives us some hope that we can get back to this. But it was a great ceremony. I caught some of it on Instagram, and some of what Michelle Obama was speaking about was about grace and about kind of maintaining that type of grace, even in the face of people who really don't deserve it. It will officially be opening up tomorrow. So today was a dedication ceremony, but tomorrow it'll be officially open to the public, which tomorrow, June 19th is Juneteenth. So it's great that they rolled it, right into, a very kind of important holiday for us Black people. In case you don't know, Juneteenth, which has been a holiday in Texas for a very long time, is a federal holiday now. And Juneteenth, marks the June 19th was the last official slaves were told that they were free. And, it happened on June 19th, and they affectionately started to call it Juneteenth. I believe it started in Galveston, Texas. But what's actually kind of interesting about Juneteenth is the slaves in Texas were already free, but they just did not know that they were. So Juneteenth came 2.5 years after the emancipation. So so slavery was already over for 2.5 years before they knew. And once they knew, once they were told, then that then it became official. That they no longer had to be forced, to work. There was no more forced labor. So I'm going to leave us there. Don't forget to tune in next week with the political perspective. Myself, Speed and Bullet, also B3 exclamation points. And always remember, if you are not political, then you do not have a perspective.
Thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.